All right, let's talk about the absolute chaos of online video. There's a new proposal out there that's trying to bring some order to it all, and honestly, a lot more safety. The big question is, can it actually work?
You know the feeling, right? You're just endlessly scrolling. You see some cat videos, maybe a cool science clip, and then something kind of questionable. It's like wandering through a massive library with no signs on any of the books.
And the scale of this is just mind-blowing. We're talking billions of videos hitting the internet every single day. And here's the kicker, there's no universal safety standard. Nothing to tell you what you're actually clicking on. For parents, for kids, you're basically flying blind.
So okay, how in the world do you even begin to tackle a problem that huge? Well, a proposal by Mohammad Ishaq says we should look at something we already know. The idea is to create a universal system of signposts, simple symbols, to cut through all that noise.
The idea itself is actually super simple. Think about it. What if every single video online had a clear label on it, just like movies do? You know, the whole G, PG, R-rated system we've all grown up with?
So on one side, you've got the old school cinema ratings. They work great for movies in the theater. But on the other side, this proposal is for digital safety symbols. And the big deal here is the scale. We're not just talking about movies. We're talking about every video on every platform. It's basically a smarter, always-on version for the digital age.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What would these digital symbols actually look like? What are they supposed to tell us in just a split second? This is where the idea starts to get really interesting.
The plan is to use simple little icons right at the top of every video. So you'd see something like a kid-safe symbol. Boom! Parents instantly know it's all right for their children. Or an adult content symbol, which is a pretty clear warning, right? But it goes way beyond that. You can have symbols for government-verified content, so you know it's an official source, or one for education. The whole point is to give you that information in a flash.
And this is a really important thing to get. It's not just about slapping on warning labels. No, this is about providing clarity for every kind of content. Is it a comedy sketch? Is it a religious talk? Does it have a copyright? A quick look at a symbol is meant to tell you exactly what you're about to spend your time on.
Okay, but let's be real. An idea this huge isn't something one person or even one company can just do. This needs a massive global team effort. So the big question is, who actually needs to be involved to make this thing happen?
Well, the proposal is aimed right at the top. We're talking about the big players. International groups like the UN and UNESCO, individual governments like India's Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, for example, and of course the giant social media companies that run the platforms.
And really, this whole thing only works if you can get all of them in the same room, agreeing on the same plan. You can't have one set of rules for one platform and a totally different set for another. That just doesn't work. It has to be a single, unified system that everyone buys into. That's the only way you get a real global standard.
So we've talked about symbols, we've talked about who needs to be involved, but it's worth taking a step back and asking the biggest question of all. Why bother? What's the end goal here? What's the big idea behind all this?
I think this quote from the proposal's author, Mohammad Ishaq, sums it up perfectly. He says, "Let us ensure that no child is misled, no culture disrespected, and no viewer confused." I mean, right there, that's what it's all about. It's about people. So the vision kind of breaks down into 3 simple steps. Step 1, bring some clarity to all this chaos online. Once you have that clarity, step 2 is accountability. People and platforms are responsible for what they post. And when you have both of those things working together, that's when you get to step 3, finally starting to rebuild trust in the online world we all spend so much time in.
Which brings us to the final question, really. In a world that feels like it's just drowning in content, could something as simple as a few universal symbols actually be the answer? Could it be the thing that brings back a sense of order, of safety, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of trust? It's a pretty powerful idea to think about.